Okay, so now soft erase this back. Just use like a kneaded eraser if you're working traditionally. Push all that information back and get to where you can look through it confidently, and then start to draw through it and really define some more of this. So the anterior head of the deltoid sits more on the front like this. It's usually a little bit higher than the medial head from this angle. So I want to get in that difference there. I also want to get that separation of that infraclavicular fossa. Get that pectoralis major in there. Okay, get the striations of the muscle. The bicep, the brachialis, and the tricep. And we'll be approaching arms in more detail, so don't worry too much about that. I just want to get really this area right here I want to keep pointing out. So this chromium process here, the curvature of the clavicle, the jugular fossa right there, again the curvature, and then on this side I really think it needs to be noticeably hidden. I want there to be some separation of the pectoralis muscles, but not too much. I feel like there's a bit too much there. But right here, as the arm starts to raise and these muscles start to get pulled in that direction, that collarbone is really going to get covered up. So I need to really explore that. And again, if you're looking at somebody with a lot of muscle mass, that's going to happen even in a more relaxed state. So it's good to pay attention to that. And that's why the bony landmarks are one of the reasons why the bony landmarks are so important. We got to also envision that the arm is pulling this muscle away from the point on where it connects on the sternum and against the ribs. So where there might be a lot more volume to the base here, there's going to be a lot less volume on the other side because it's being pulled and elongated. So we have to think about that as well. We have to stretch these outward, kind of wrap these around. Again, this is the anterior deltoid, bicep, coracobrachialis, tricep, and the rear delt, posterior, and then some of the lat or latissimus dorsi, the obliques on the side here, rectus abdominis, remember the navel is right about here. And then you have the obliques that converge into the serratus. Give you a bit of this saw-like effect, saw blade tooth-like effect. These kind of flow down into this area. All right, and then up here, the neck, the trapezius, I'm purposely making the one side of the trapezius more abruptly inward towards the body. Like right here, I'm making that more distinctly different than the other side because it's, you know, it would be, right? If you're raising an arm up, it's going to have an effect on that area, and they shouldn't be even. So if I made this the same distance all the way over to here, I feel like that would actually hurt the overall look of what I'm going for. I do feel like the delt is still too far away. I feel like that needs to be back into here. So I'm going to adjust that again. I feel like that's starting to look better. Like it just shouldn't be that far away from the body. It looks disjointed. I think I can work with that. So this would be a little bit cleaner version, but now what I would like to do, I'm going to time lapse this and I'm going to clean it up one more time. And I actually want to do one example with you where we go right down the middle of this and do one that's a value study and the other one that's left with line art. So it can give you a nice reference point for what you might see from one to the other. So let's conclude here, and with that, let's move on to our next lesson.